Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight, this evening. And today we have two special guests from Dot Lines. They're based in Singapore. And we have Hasan Mehdi, Executive Director of Dot Lines, and Ola Lin, Director of Business Development of Dot Lines. And they will share with us about how a simple app can help you control your home and office internet security. So a bit about Audra. Audra is a business concern of the Dot Lines group and committed to work towards ensuring online security and digital wellness of users by putting effective internet control tools in your hands. At Dot Lines, we believe that you and us together have a critical role in impacting the lives of our dear ones and transforming digital lifestyle of society with the aid of empowering technology. Audra prevent external online threats, blocks unwanted web categories from your home network, and shield from negative impact. It allows you to control online addiction and ensure healthy internet for your family and office. I will also share with you a bit about Hasan Mehdi, the Executive Director of Dot Lines. Hasan has always been leading the digital wellness revolution. Hasan has been actively advocating for safer and controlled internet for the better part of the last decade. He has extensive experience in ISP and IoT technology. We also have Ola Lin, Director of Business Development of Dot Lines. Ola has almost 2 decades of experience in the digital transformation of several companies in emerging markets and has spent his time at Dot Lines advocating for safer internet for consumers in Asia. So I would like to welcome Hasan and Ola. Please.
Thank you very much.
Can we see your faces? Okay, hi.
Hello.
Hi, Hasan.
Yes.
Hi, Ola. Welcome. So I believe I had share a bit about you yourself and Dot Lines, and if you have anything to add, please add now.
Yeah, all right. No
please,
problem. So we jump into the
Hasan,
topic actually. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
sure.
I hear you well.
Yes.
Okay, so we jump into the topic, and the objective of today's August discussion is we want to share one of our very interesting innovation targeted to the Asian homes and the small businesses. And in doing so, we have looked into the aspect of internet, the great things that come with internet, and also not so great things that come along with internet. How do we effectively put a control to it? And is there a way to do this for people like me or you, a normal parent, a small business owner? Is there an effective tool for them to handle the bad impacts of internet? And we want to discuss those things today with you. I would invite my colleague Ola to take us through that, what his take on overall internet and how it can be bad for us. And then we will come back, what kind of solution we thought of, how this can be managed well. Yeah, Ola, over to you.
Thank you very much, Hasan.
Yeah.
So if we go to our presentation, I will give you, if we go to the next slide, Akib. So there is a few things, and this agenda we have set for today is why internet control, or what I will call a safety net, and is there any practical solution to this problem in the Asian marketplace today? So let's get started. One of the biggest thing that we've seen in the name of internet is impact. And what that mean is that it has a lot of impact on our daily life, our family, our friends, and our workplace in all aspects. Since 2000, to 2020, the evolution started and began and evolved, and today, internet is part of our daily life. We cannot be without it. In average, adult spends about 7 hours on the internet, and a youngster, a teen, more than 9 hours. On board average all over the East Asian region. So it comes in new problems, there comes in new wellness and health issues, it comes in negative energy, because suddenly in a family, now we need to be able to handle situations totally different. In the past, when I grew up, the only thing my parents needed to worry about, I was running out late every night and was running around with my friends, and there was nothing else to do than stay together and talk and come up with some trickster treats to do things. Today, we don't see this, and specifically during the pandemic, everybody is in their homes, is spending a ton of times on the internet. And on the internet, as a youngster, we love to explore, we love to find new ways, and we also get into areas where we shouldn't get into as a youngster, even as adult. We're spending too much time texting, we're spending too much time on looking maybe on videos and other kind of things that we shouldn't look at. And most of the time when I have conversations with family groups or with other families, they say, yeah, it's not an issue in our family because I am looking into what my son or my daughter is doing. And I believe that is right, maybe to 10%, because the 90 other percent, he's by himself. When he's with you, he's spending the time with his phone in front of you, he's behaving very well. But the other 90%, when he's by himself in his room or some other places, he then he becomes a different kind of person in his behavior than he would do in a traditional way in front of a parent. And this is globally. Everywhere, every household in the world, this is actually what's going on. Like it or not, it's just the reality of the life we're living today. So, next, Hakim. So, as I just told you, 7 hours adults, 9 hours the youngsters, or more. I believe it's more, but okay, let's see. So what is the difference today of an adult and a youngster? In the social media space and in the infotainment space, I mean, it's the same kind of time spending almost, or more for the youngster. And in the old traditional way, like we still as an adult, we're using email, doing e-commerce shopping and these kind of things, is more towards the adults. But seeking information is done by the youngster in a very different way. When I grew up, or we grew up, we had books, we checked on the internet a few things. Today, education is on Google. You go on Google, I see teen youngsters, they're watching videos about chemistry, history, and so on in a 10-20 minute segment of how things were created in the world, for example. This was impossible during my lifetime, but it's the way people are doing today. And the way a youngster has the time of focus has decreased, meaning that 10 minutes approximately is the time there is a real focus. So what happened? TikTok and all these other things became the monster in the room that everybody is utilizing globally today, specifically in the youngster categories. So with this social media, with infotainment and seeking information, going to places where you're not supposed, a lot of new things happen. And this is threats to the internet, threats to the family, and creating problems and social problems between friends, families, and youngsters. And how can we as a parent look into this matter, because it's very, very difficult to handle. What we see in front of us, we can handle. But the time when we're not, because of phone, we are not 24/7 looking into the screen of our kids, youngsters. And looking at the study that is 2 years old, is that 34% of the internet people, the young people, are saying we are addicts. In Germany, I think the figure that they were describing last year was even in the 60s. The way we are exposed to sexual adult content, not only sexual content, but also adult content that we shouldn't, as a teen, be exposed to. It's free, it's everywhere, it's access one click away. And then it comes to what we talked about, the attention deficiency. As more you spend the time on internet, the less the span of focusing is happening. And we see this in school today. I mean, any teacher can say today, 5 to 10 minutes is when the youngsters are focused in the classroom. The other 30 minutes is actually a waste. And then we see, and this is also 2 years ago, and this has actually increased a lot, 31% of learning is done through texting and bullying. We had a case, I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago here in Malaysia, where a young teen girl jumped and did suicide because she has been bullying on the internet. And this is really, really sad, because it's very hard to detect, because you as a teen or a family member, this kind of communication, because she maybe is doing something, or she doesn't want to tell the story, or a guy doesn't want to tell the story, it's hidden, it's easy, because I can open my application, I can send away a text, it doesn't hurt me because it's just a text. But on the receiving end is where the damage takes place, because it's very easy to send and tell somebody, because you're not there in front of the person, you're not face to face, you are in the medium of internet, where you are because you're playing maybe video games, you are an avatar, you have a screen name, you're doing things in a totally different way when you're playing games on internet. But when you're communicating with other people, the same kind of tendency of behavior is utilized the same way. And this has created an humongous amount of problems for parents, for youngsters, teens, friends, and way for schools to handle it, because they have no clue how to handle this kind of situations. So it has created a lot of problems within the families. Going the next step, next slide, is same with small businesses. Not in the way of a family, but say a small business or medium business. It's like a family. There is the parent, the owner, and then the employees, the children in the small companies, say. And what happens is that in Southeast Asia or Asia, $81 billion is lost in revenue. But it's not only in normal productivity loss, meaning that the lack of productivity within the company's working hours has reduced significantly. Is also the security breaches. Because what happens? We're buying a printer, we're setting in a security camera, we're putting in a couple of IoT devices, we buy a bracelet for exercising, we buy an Android watch, etc., etc. All of these kind of devices, they're running on one thing in the office, is the Wi-Fi or the internet in the office. But when there is no protection, the hackers has a field day, they have an open buffet, and the increasement, more than 80%, is because the ease for them, because they're sitting on their computer at their home and can enter into any kind of business through the internet. And this is a reality today. Obviously, the big corporation with the big names are going to be hit the worst, or political entities or governmental entities, because they are easy prey for them as well. But small businesses with no protection is even a bigger threat. So we see that, for example, in a normal working hours of a normal business, that 60% plus of employees, meaning 1/3 of the work hours, during the week is spent on chatting with friends, chatting on the mobile phone, doing internet shopping, because we're seeing on the statistics from Lazada, from Shopee, from all these websites, is that normally in the afternoon, in working hours, is when most of the purchasing is done on their shopping sites. That is a little bit insane for the small business owner, because now he paid the price for lack of productivity in his office. And we see that for a small business owner to spend the money on a firewall that maybe cost a fortune, or hiring an internet IT expert that we all are today, is a costly equation just for running a very small office. It's not justified for most of them. So coming to this part, how can we solve this, first of all? And seeing on the research what has been done from government sites here in Malaysia, and I believe the numbers are almost exactly the same in Indonesia, is that 93% of internet users remain exposed. Meaning that they do not take the right approach for security when it comes to handling their internet usage, either at home, either at the business, in this case. In businesses, it can be with phishing, with the employee voice, the target hacking, and the IoT devices, that they are not secure. The printer, the CCTV camera, the different devices, the new application to run the air conditioning in the office, or turning off and on the lights, they all are made by malware from that specific manufacturer. It's not an Android, it's not an Apple standard. It's made specifically from the manufacturer that makes these kind of devices, meaning that there is no protection for them at the moment on most cases. And then obviously the data theft. You can read in the papers all the time. How do they normally enter into the theft of IoT devices? They just go through the printer that is on the public Wi-Fi, and through there they can get into the internal system of the computer system in the office and so on, or through the devices of what the employees or customer brings to the office using their mobile phone on their existing Wi-Fi network, and there through malware can then paralyze the office work Wi-Fi systems. So this is a problem. Either we see it or we do not see it. Mostly we do not see the threat until it happens. And when it happens, well, it's too late. And then the trouble comes to handle, take care, and resolve the issues. So this is a big problem we see in small businesses, and the same in the families, because handling internet wellness, what I call yin yang, I mean, if somebody's paying way too much time on internet, negative energy means there is a lot of irritation, there is lack of sleep, there is a lot of things that happens in the family environment due to that it's not handled in the right way. Obviously, internet should be used and so on, but it should be done for youngsters in moderation. And in the family, per se, there should be time for study, there should be time for entertainment, there should be time for family time. So how can we find a valuable solution that is very effective, that anybody can use at ease, and very, very simple? Hasan.
Yeah, thank you, Ola. I think you set the criteria and the stage very brilliantly. See, understand the fact that most of the parents and most of the small business owners struggle for few things. Number one, they do not know the things that they need to block and the things that should not be blocking. That's number one. Number two, it's not about blocking and unblocking. It is more important to create the behavior. And the behavior is actually modeling of the behavior among the kids. Say, I want to create a behavior among my kids. I have a son and a daughter. My son is 12 and my daughter is 8. I don't want them to use the internet or go into their gadgets after 9 p.m. And they should not be able to use this unless it is very much necessary. Let's say tomorrow is an exam, they need to submit an assignment, that's fine. But beyond that, I do not want them to use it. Now, how do I control this? If I want to control this, there are a lot of conflicts happening. So can I come to a consensus with my kids that, okay, if you do not use internet after 9, I will reward you in this fashion. That's one part of it. But that's a softer motivation. But in case of reinforcements, if I really want to put a control and if I really want to make a rule in my home, what do I have to ensure that rule? So we thought of a very simple mechanism and helping the parents as well as small business owner setting certain rules. For example, in my childhood, I must come back home around 7, whatever it takes. I'm talking about my teenagers, right? So that was a rule of the house. And it was established by my father. And he used to follow the same. Wherever he is, he's coming back by 7:30. So once he's back, he must be seeing me first. So this is more of a verbal rule. At that time, our family conditions and the enforcements were like this. But as the things get more open, as the things get more wide and digital, it becomes very difficult for us to establish rules, right? Now, we thought of how can we set rules for good behavior, digital wellness at home and business, so that a parent or a small business owner who does not have any IT knowledge can establish these rules. See, rules like you cannot access internet from this to that time. That's time-bound rule. Even if you can use internet, you cannot go into certain restrictive sites and get exposed to those kind of contents. You can use internet every day only for this many hours, not more, not less. So these are dream rules every parent today wants to implement. And we have come up with a solution in the form of Audra for home as well as for business. Now, how does it work? Akib, if you move on to the next slide. So we thought of a very simple mechanism. From here, let me show you a live example. Yeah. Can I share my screen, Akib? Yeah. All right. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah, so can you see me, right? So see here, this is my modem. It's from my provider Maxis. So what we thought is, after the modem, can I implement something like this beautiful box? This is the Audra Gateway Wi-Fi appliance. So this is meant for homes. Homes which require a Wi-Fi solution with a control mechanism in it. You just need to plug in to your modem with this Wi-Fi router. And then you will go to something very beautiful. That's about the gateway part of it. When it comes to small businesses or in the event, you have multiple routers. For example, in my home, I have a mesh router. So it is difficult for me to replace all the routers at home. What do I do then? We have another solution. With your modem, you connect a switch gateway like this. So it does not have Wi-Fi. It is connected to my the main Wi-Fi router of TP-Link, and it is connected to 3 more other satellite routers in my home. So this way, if I give you the entire solution of it, if you want to replace your current router with the control internet solution of Audra, all you need to do is remove your old router, connect this to your modem like this, simply put through a cable here, and then bingo, you go ahead. If you have multiple routers, typically in a small office scenario, what we recommend is you take your modem, connect your Audra, and then from here on the back, you connect your other routers of the office. This is the solution for business. So in this way, what we have actually ensured is we make the setup very, very simple for most of our customers. They can do it by themselves. Yeah. So Akib, let's go to the slides again. Yeah. So here you can see in this slide, there are two ways to connect your Audra. In case of home, we have thought of a Wi-Fi router. And with that router, the white device that I have told you, you connect all your existing home devices, be it your phone, your TV, your CCTV, your laptop, your gaming console, your smart speaker, everything here, just like a simple router. When it comes to a business, we thought of a switch solution, which is like the black box that I have just shown you. And you connect your all other devices. It can be a direct connection to a small server that you might have in your office, or you have multiple routers. And with that, you connect all your other devices. So what happens here is that anytime a user, let's say from your home, that blue laptop asks for a site which is restricted. Let's say it is office hour, and that person is looking to go to Tokopedia shopping site. Now the business owner, because he is all in all of the enterprise, he wants to restrict all his employees not to go to Tokopedia or any sort of unproductive sites during the office hours. So all he needs to do is set the rules at Audra. So whenever this employee asks for Tokopedia, the request will go up to Audra. Audra will check with the cloud whether it is allowed or not allowed, set by the owner. If it is not allowed, it will not let the employee proceed with the request to the internet. So this way, suddenly the employee will actually see you are not allowed to view this site. There can be many applications to that. So I will come to that actually at the moment. Yeah. So let me share my screen here. All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say I click Audra. The application starts, and I do a basic login and authentication here. It's very simple. So it will go like this. So once I do the login, I arrive at the dashboard here. See, this is my home scenario at the moment, right? So as you can see at the top right-hand corner, I have 4 devices connected to my Audra now at the moment. And in last 7 days, these 4 devices consumed about 3.5 GB data. This is today. And this is the graph of last 7 days. And I can easily see while there was this weekend, ending Friday up to ending Sunday, you see the data in my home spiked. The usage really went up. And as the working day started, the data consumption really went off. So this is a typical graph that I'm habituated seeing my home for last few months. But if I see suddenly on the day of Monday or Tuesday, a sudden spike, that will actually ring a bell. What happened while I was not there in my home? So I start querying and I go into each device's history and see what kind of consumption happened. So this is one possibility. Now, if you go below, you will see that my mesh network is there connected with Audra. My wife's name is Saki. She is connected there. My son is Aris and my daughter is Anvita. They are put in small other groups. Imagine I put my mesh network, the router, into smart device category. My wife is under guest category. Aris and Anvita, my son and daughter, their iPads are actually connected in the kids category. So what does these category mean, right? I go to the burger menu on the top left-hand corner, click it there. I see these are the groups, right? So I go to the groups very easily. And from there, I see these are the groups available in my Audra. I can actually, if I want, I can create a group also. Let's say I want to create a group. Let's say I put a name. It's a webinar group. Yeah. So I put a webinar group. I create this group. For example, in my office, suddenly there is a new department created, which is an admin department. And I need to create a separate group for admin. I can create like this, save it here. It will save, request successful, and it will go to my group situation. See, webinar at the bottom. A new group is created. So I can go to the group. Let's say I go to webinar group, and there I can set certain rules. What are the rules? For example, I want to set some blocked categories. Let's say in the webinar group, I do not want anybody to be hacked. I don't want any one of you to get malware or adware impacted. I don't want any one of you to go to shopping at the moment because we are discussing very important at the moment. Yeah. And I don't want any of you to go into drugs and alcohols, weapons and violence, dating and entertainment, if you don't mind. Yeah. So these are actually blocked. Now, if all your devices are grouped under webinar, and if I wish you all were under Audra, you would have seen that you actually cannot go to any of these sites that I have just blocked, right? We will see a video later and you will understand later. If you want, you can actually block any specific site also under the same group. If you want, you can actually whitelist some of your banking sites. For example, in case of an office or in case of a home, now that we are working from home very tediously, I want to only whitelist 2 of my banking sites. Any other banking sites, if it comes to a phishing attack way, it will be prevented by Audra. So this way I can protect my financial assets as well as my credentials on that. If I want, I can actually set time limit also. For example, I can create a new work schedule for this group of webinar. So if I want to change the work schedule, I can change, see like this. My work schedule is typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If I want to change it, I can just select, deselect like this. I can set timing from when to when my office works, or when do I want to set up the time for my kids not to go into internet and when to go into internet. During this time, what kind of specific site I want to block, and I just save it. Once I save it, this request has been successful, meaning this group of webinar, whoever is there under this group, whichever device is there, they must follow all these rules of blocking, all these rules of whitelisting, all these rules of time setting. Yeah. So I go back, discard the changes. Yeah. So we were talking about all these group creations. Let's say we go to the dashboard again. And here you will see actually all the devices that are there, right? So let's say I go to my daughter's iPad. She is assigned under the kids category. I go there for demonstration purpose. I did not block anything here. So I block gambling, hacking, adware, malware, weapons, dating, adult, say browser VPN, proxy. Kids are really smart these days, yeah. I also want to limit her usage of internet over her tab. Let's say every day 4 hours, and I think that is very generous. So once I save this setting for my daughter and particularly for this group will be set automatically. So under this very easy setting, whichever device I put under the kids category will follow these blocked category rules, will also follow this daily limit by hours rule. Yeah. So that's about it in terms of setting the control here. When it is about seeing whether it is working or not, let's go to the report area and you will discover something horrifying here. Now in this report area, you will see that these are the devices so far connected with my Wi-Fi device, which is Audra. Now, oftentimes, there is a common complaint from many of the customers of ISPs that, hey, often my data speed goes down. We never realize that maybe somebody is actually stealing our internet by somehow getting access to my router or to my connection, my network. If you install Audra, you will immediately understand which are the unknown devices that got into your network, and you can easily do something about that. You can actually block this device later on. See here, for example, in case of, let's say, my son's iPad, as you can see, Ardi's iPad. So if you can see at the top of the screen, attempts prevented, meaning Aris has attempted something which I did not want him to do. Let's say he attempted a gaming site, which I did not want him to go into. It will be recorded here. If I click here, I will go into more details, what kind of site. But since it is privacy issue, I'm not willing to show it at the moment. But as you can see, if you click, you will get to know more details. Now, which is horrifying is more, see, there is another column, the second column, threats prevented, 923. Now, my son uses iPad, probably the most secure device in the world. Even that is not avoiding the attacks that is coming into it. Look at my daughter's device, Anvita iPad, 543 attempts over the last 7 days. Yeah, if I calculate last 6 months, the numbers may look even more dangerous. You see Anvita iPad, 2,600 attempts of external attacks, which has been prevented by Audra. If I look into, let's say last four week, yeah, you will see the numbers changing and the numbers coming down. Obviously, this last 4 weeks, not 6 months. So this is the way you get all the details here in Audra in a very, very easy way. So in summary, when we talk about a solution, we are talking about a solution which is very practical for parents and small business owners to first install. Number 2, download the app, connect with your device, and bingo, you go ahead. This is, if you look into the user interface of it, the way we have put the controls there very practically, the way we have actually set the journey for the users, the way we show the visibility of it, show the reporting of it, and gives you complete understanding and controllability. We felt that this is probably the right thing the market is looking for. And very fortunately, we had been able to test out before the market launch of Audra over 1,000 devices starting from Australia to North America. And we have received tremendous amount of feedback from our beta testers. Based on this, we have perfected Audra, be it the device functionality, and more importantly, it is actually the cloud functionality, the intelligence that we have used, the controllability we have given to our users, and the way they feel the joy of using Audra is phenomenal. Yeah. So Akib, I think I'm over with the screen presentation. You can take over now. Yeah. So, dear participants here today, I believe you understood the reality in the market space, number 1. Number 2, I'm sure as parents, as maybe business owners, and in many cases, as responsible employees of your organization, you are looking for ways how I can control the use of internet in my home and create good behavior. How I can actually monitor and control my employees in my small office, because in my small office, everything means my loss or my gain. So even if I run after many things outside my office, I'm not always there in the office. I have IT policy, I have HR policy, I have admin policy, I have leave policy, a lot of policies. The question is, for a small business owner, do I have an internet policy in my office? Do I have all the tools to actually safeguard all the unwanted use, unproductive use of internet in my office? Is there any way I can do this without going for the big names of all the names we know? I don't want to mention those names. They're very expensive. They're extremely critical to manage. I need to have an IT manager in my office to handle this. But through a very small package with a cloud solution and a very intelligent platform, can I use the entire suite of Audra on my side and make every control possible wherever I am, whenever I am? I might be out of Indonesia, but I can still see the visibility of how my office network is being used. As a parent, as a father, I might be busy the whole day. Suddenly I receive a call from my wife and saying, hey, Aris has completed his homework. Can you please turn on his YouTube in his iPad? Sitting there in office, I can do that very easily. So this is the way. There is this dialogue happening. There is this behavior shaping happening. And that is the joy of creating Audra. Trust you me, Audra is actually not a product alone. It is actually a philosophy. We are Asian parents. In our society, we need to listen to our parents even after marriage. It so happens that many of our cousins, they had to take permission from their parents when they decided to take their first baby. So this is Asian culture, and this happens. I mean, that's with respect. Now, can we make an effective control mechanism to the Asian parents and give it to them for the best benefit of their home environment? It's not about networking. It's not about protecting devices. It's not about protecting kids and all the IoT devices. It's about shaping the behavior. We talk about wellness, physical wellness. We talk about mental wellness. We talk about many kind of wellness. We are so much we are so much interested about the wind flow in our home. What is the right side of the home to put a window there? Have we thought about digital wellness? As a responsible parent, when we see all our kids are getting into the digital space, how can we ensure that we are actually giving the best tool and bringing the best things of internet inside our house and leaving all the bad things outside the house? That is where Audra stands for. That is what Audra is all about. It's actually a philosophy. We are very happy that Prasetia has partnered with us, and we are in talks with a number of ISPs, the broadband internet service providers in Indonesia. And we are also keen to partner with banking partners to offer to their card base a beautiful solution like Audra. We are very keen to partner with facility and property providers so that they can install Audra by default in their new condos and make it a fully wellness condo. It's not about having tennis court, a gym, a beautiful green park. What about the digital wellness of it? Yeah, so you can build a proposition around that. We are digitally safe condo for your families. Welcome to our condo. So there are many opportunities. The participants here today, you can think, you can use it for your own home. You can use it for your own business, small businesses, even the places where you work. This can be a great proposition in this time, more importantly, to bring Audra and take it to your customers and make it even larger and the philosophy even wider. Yeah. So here we will show you one video made by one Malaysian mom. Her name is Marilyn. She has 2 kids, as you can see, and she was very bothered about the addictive use of gadgets by her kids. And let us hear from her. And this is a video she made by herself. It's a very homemade video. It's not very commercial quality video, of course, but it's a beautiful video of a mother and what kind of relief she actually got out of Audra. Yeah. So Akib, can you play this video?
Hi, I'm William.
I'm Marine. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ethan.
We have an Audra unit here. Let's unbox it.
Look, quick start guide.
is as easy as ABC. Basically, you just need to plug it in, activate your subscription, and it is ready to use. I can personalize the configuration for each device. I start with Ethan's phone by customizing the settings under his device account. First, I rename his device to Ethan. Then I assign him under the group Children. I block certain categories from Ethan's device, such as gambling, hacking, adware, drugs and alcohol, malware, weapons and violence, pornography, dating and entertainment. I can also control his internet usage by customizing his bedtime, his study time as well as his playtime. Best of all, I can limit his daily internet usage by the hour. I gave him 2 hours daily and I think that is pretty generous already. Now let's try it out. Let's search for weapons. Now look at that, it's being blocked by Audra. Audra's time quota-based blocking ensures a healthy level of screen time.
Yeah, so I think that's a very happy story, and this way we are creating stories every day, and we are really keen to be a part of your story soon. Yeah, so I think that's all from our end, what we wanted to share with you. Yeah, Ola, Ardi.
Okay, so I have some questions to both of you. So what made you come up with the idea of internet control focus for the Asian home?
Okay. As I told you during the presentation, that Asian parents are actually different. European and Western way of parenting and Asian way of parenting is somewhat different. Ola can probably verify more. We love to be a part of the journey of our kids. And till the time they get on their 2 feet fully, getting into jobs and they're raising families, we parents still feel that we have some say in their life, right? Yes, this shift is happening, but it's happening slow, and obviously Asia will take a slower turn into this. So since this is one culture whereby even let's say in case of Western world, once your kid is 10, 12 years old, a father need to knock the door and get inside. But in case of Asia, I can't imagine my son will actually lock his door and I need to knock it. It is my right to get inside and then decide what happens, right? That's us, right? It's not bad. It's just us. So we thought that this controllability, when it is consulted with the kids and the parents, and the tool is there in a very cloud-based AI-driven model, it creates great habit, great relationship. That is the fundamental of creation of Audra. Yeah. Yeah. So Ola, you want to add anything here?
Sure, and we see that, for example, in the US market and the European market, there is a couple of similarity in products, but they are most focused on very simple parts of functionalities, and is not thinking about the holistic view of how a behavior is justified of a user, specifically children, in the way of today's environment, and specifically in Asia, where everything is on mobile. Because in Europe and in the US, still the last couple of years has been a lot on tablets, it has been a lot on laptops. But in the big evolution here in Asia is everything mobile first. So it's come with kind of a different way of behavior of utilizing the internet.
Okay, so the next question, why Audra? And don't you think parents have a hard time using apps, setting all those rules?
Not in reality, because of the way it's set up. We had a talk with some of the big telecoms, and they actually wanted to buy our UX only for the reason of its simplicity. Why? Because it's just looking at the screen, it's simple, tells you. Other devices that you can buy in the marketplace today have some kind of control in them, but you need to set by website, and so forth. We have made it very simple. Blocking categories. Why blocking categories? Obviously, because if you go to an adult content site, there is hundreds of thousands of them. So as a parent, if you want to block one by one, well, you have a lifetime achievement award in front of you, because it's going to take you forever. So we decided that the simplicity, the one touch, blocking a category or a way, whitelist, or the behavior of setting my rules for my family in my home, is the way it has to be developed as. To make the simplicity, anybody, even in a small business, even the owner of the business, like normally we don't know anything, is that it should be easy to control, fast and simple. And this is how it's been created from the start, from the end consumer's view, not from a technical view. And this is the most important.
Yeah, true.
So how secure is it?
Sorry?
How secure is Audra?
Okay. See, interestingly, security is very interesting part, and thank you for asking this question. For example, I lock my door, yeah, and I leave the key on the lock. I thought that I have locked my door, but I left the key there. Now, when I set my credentials, let's say I use a password 123456, and I think that I have created my email ID as well as my password, and I'm secure. So security is often an individual factor, but as long as Audra goes, Audra will actually assess all possible threats from external and internal bases. And as a result, it actually protects the family as well as small businesses from the known factors. Now, if you are vulnerable by the design of it, you set a very wrong password, or your password becomes visible to others. In fact, not only Audra, nothing in the world can actually prevent catastrophe happening to you. So while security, protecting your data is one sort of a personal factor as well, your awareness and your sensitivity towards that. But in case of the known threats, known factors, which is there in general, Audra is there to fully secure and safeguard you, yeah?
Okay, and how does Audra help small businesses?
All right, okay, fantastic question, Ardi, and whoever has asked this question. See, typically for small businesses, businesses having, let's say, 20, 30, 40, 50 member offices, we have seen from our extensive experience working in Singapore, Malaysia, even in Indonesia, they do not effort to have an IT expert in the office. For a small business owner, it is better to have two admin or a salesperson rather than having an IT expert there. They always think that I'm so small, I will never be attacked. Nothing happens because I'm too small. But globally, as Ola shared a very important data, 85% of the hackings are happening towards the SMBs. So SMBs are actually prone to threats. They are extremely vulnerable, but they do not have any IT expertise by themselves. They do not have any IT expert in their employee pool. And because of cost and complexity, they cannot actually have market standard firewall expensive solutions. So we thought of a solution like Audra, put the black box in between their external network and internal network, make it a guardhouse, and make it so user-friendly, like I've just shown you and the mother also showed you. Like this, you just create groups, put different devices into those groups, and bingo, done. So for small businesses, managing productivity of their employees, safeguarding the data leakage through IoT devices, for example, printers, CC camera, and whatnot, creating a proper culture and behavior inside the office and making it more productive. I would say this is the most important factor an SMB owner can gain out of Audra. It is not only about protecting the network, it is also about ensuring employees are working when it is time to work. That is very important. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we have a question, well, two questions, but I think it is related. How much does it cost for individual use? And where can we get it in Indonesia?
All right. So I think the answer lies with you, Ardi, because you are a partner in Indonesia. But I can only want to tell our audience here is that, see, Audra, I would request you, please do not think of it as a box, as a hardware. Yes, I know the hardware is very beautiful. It's a showpiece kind of an item, but nothing happens in the hardware. See, the hardware actually takes the input of request. One laptop is asking for, one person is asking for this data or this site, let's say a shopping site during office hour. Should I give him? The device will actually talk to the cloud, Audra cloud, and Audra cloud will decide based on the rules set by the parent or the employee, what to allow, what not to allow. Even something is not set, Audra cloud has the intelligence to understand something externally coming, which is not good for the network, will be prevented. So Audra is more of a subscription-based service rather than a one-time setup fee kind of a service, right? So like you pay for your antivirus softwares every year, Audra also has a subscription-based every year kind of a pricing model, which is very affordable because we have thought the Asian mindset, Asian families here. So I think Ardi will be able to discuss about the pricing. It's around $120 to $150 in between. But of course, he might come up with a brilliant introductory offer since you are participating here. And it's a yearly subscription-based pricing. What is the benefit of this yearly subscription-based pricing? You pay for the subscription. You don't need to consider whether the device gets faulty or not. You get replacement warranty, number one. Number two, there are new threats coming up. New set of things are opening up. New sites opening today. Some sites getting down. You just don't need to think about anything. Let Audra manage. You just click and save, set, go, forget it. So this peace of mind is the outcome. Let's say Audra costs you $120 in a year. That means $10 per month. And you divide by 30, it's probably about $0.3 per day. Imagine your home's security. Imagine your children's behavior shaping, their digital wellness versus $0.3. That is what the balance has to work. Yeah. Okay, Ardi.
Actually, one more thing. If you're interested, please leave your email with Ardi's here as a message. And the availability in Indonesia, we are believe with one of the ISPs or through the e-commerce in Indonesia will be available end of this month or no longer than in September. So it will be within your reach within a few weeks in Indonesia, and leave within Ardi your details, and you will be the first one that can actually have them in your home very quickly.
And what are the major differences between the home shield and the Be Secure? So between the home and for the biz.
Sure. All right. Okay. So I share my screen again here. Okay. Let me see. This is the home shield appliance connected with the cloud. This is actually our Wi-Fi router. And when it talks about a business unit, it's actually a non-Wi-Fi switch gateway. The beautiful part of these two devices is when it's about home device, it's actually can be worked as a brilliant, beautiful replacement of your current Wi-Fi router. But again, I'm saying it's just a router, it's just a device. Nothing is there, no intelligence is available here. So you get to use up to 1 Gbps internet speed. You get to use a beautiful coverage of 2,500 square feet. All that's there. But the facilities, the benefits, the features, the utilities are same. Now, when you come to a business unit, you actually have two internet connections coming in. One goes down, the other one goes up. In Audra Biz Secure, there are some other features which are very practically designed for the business houses. For example, in a business house, you need bandwidth control. What is bandwidth control? For example, you have a 100 Mbps connection in your office. You want to dedicate 100 Mbps to your top management and your marketing team. They require the best bandwidth. But to your finance and admin team, you do not require actually 100 Mbps. You can set the speed at 10 Mbps. We call it QoS, quality of service. You assign bandwidth according to the requirement. That's number one. Number two, in many of the cases, in your office network, you have a lot of IoT devices that you need to control from outside your network. For example, you are suddenly in some other place outside your office, your printer is malfunctioning. So you can actually dedicate IP for your IoT devices, and as a result, it can become traceable, accessible to you from outside. You don't need to get inside. But both the devices utilize the brilliant intelligence of Audra through the cloud service, and that is where the entire heart of Audra is. So for business devices, business solution, there are some additional features which are practical for business. For homes, there are the standard features which are practical for home. Yeah.
So we have a question here. Is there any package for both our small business and home?
We have not thought about that, but I think that's a great idea. Obviously, if you have such requirement, like Ola said, please leave a message, and trust you me, we will get back to you within a few days.
Because we think in the post-COVID pandemic is because work from home, we're going to bundle a new product assignment for the Indonesian market as well. And obviously that's something that is of interest for everybody.
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's a very good idea. Thank you, whoever has asked this question. Thank you very much. Yes, some more.
And how about for like for restaurants? We had talked about like what are the solutions like for like restaurants who have many locations, or banks who have many locations. What kind of solutions that you have for them?
Okay, all right. So great question, Ardi. See, banking industry is very different. And I don't believe that banks having multiple branches are not under a standard, expensive and complex firewall solutions by now. But of course, for smaller enterprises, for let's say a restaurant having 5-10 branches, if they do not have a solution today, Audra can beautifully fit in there. How? Say I have all my 10 branches here, and these 10 branches will have 10 Audra set up in their branches. All will be controlled by this headquarter here with single Audra interface. So Being the system admin of all the branches of my F&B, I will be able to set rule once and it will be applied to all the 10 branches at the same time. So what kind of rule we're talking about? Let's say I create 3 different categories. 1, my employees. Number 2, my guests. And number 3, my IoT devices. In a restaurant, there are very important devices like the CC camera, like the POS machine, like all these things, like the cash register. They need to constantly be connected and threat prevented. So I must safeguard my basic, the lifeblood of my business first. Number 2, my employees, often I see they do not pay attention to the guests. They're busy with their phones, using my network in the restaurant. I want to block them. I want to give them time. Only during this off time, you can get access to good quality free Wi-Fi, but other time it must be your, or you have to pay attention to my guests. My guests should be the most important second priority here, so that they actually get the best quality internet here. So there are many set of rules that can be applied in Audra to safeguard my IoT devices in my restaurant, to give the best experience to my customers when they're waiting and having dinner with me, and making sure my employees are behaving right by serving the employees right. And all things can be set from a single point while we have distributed Audra in all the branches of F&B. So this is how any branch location can utilize this facility using Audra. Yeah.
And the best thing is he can also do it from home because he's in cloud, he's online, so he can set it wherever he's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we don't have any more question.
Great.
Is there anything that you would like to add?
I just want to say that Audra is coming new in Indonesia after successful deployments in other markets, number 1. Number 2, you as parents, you as probably small business owners or medium business owners of your own, and you being one of the responsible employees of your organization, I welcome you all to have a look into the solution and how parents across continents are utilizing the power of Audra for their benefit. How small business owners across continents are utilizing Audra to bring in the productivity for their small businesses. This is very, very important. You asked about pricing, you asked about different interesting packages. Obviously, together with our partner, we will look into those, and very soon we'll come back to you with great offers. Since you have subscribed to this webinar, we understand you have right interest here. So I would welcome you to be the first users in Indonesia and give us your reviews so that we can improve further. There is no end of improvement. And we know that we have a long way to go still today, but we have started after extensive trials and extensive testings. But of course, we are keen to learn from you and get your feedback soon. Yeah, Ola, anything to add?
I think that sums it up.
Yeah, all right, great. Fantastic. Ardi, over to you.
Okay, so we also have some guests from Astra Auto Finance, Pak Hari Santoso. He asked the one who asked for the package, and he's asking for further information. And we would like to work together with Astra Auto Finance because we would like to give the flexibility for customers to pay for the installment. So we are happy to work with banks and financing companies. So thank you, Pa, for attending.
Well, I would like to give him a challenge right here and now. If he can come up with 1 customer today to Ardi and send him the information in the coming days, I like to give that specific client of his that he cherishes to install an Audra and be our first reviewer for giving feedback as a return for having this Audra product in his home.
Agreed. Why only one, Ola? All these participants today.
Sure.
Sure.
On our behalf,
Somebody wants to
because
speak.
we see you as
Yes.
very important customers, and we know that this is very important in your home and
Yes.
also for the customers' homes.
I think in Indonesia, this is a good, just like your explanation about Asian parenting culture, which we prevent many things from our children, as well as there are a lot of small, medium enterprise here. I think it's a good strategy to enter the Indonesian market, and it should be a huge market here. And also we can go or enter into the mothers club in the school. Now mommies who also try to prevent their, especially the educated person who try to prevent, and of course they have the buying power to buy this kind of product in the school.
Yeah.
Because I think every parent has realized when they are 24/7 at home, the problem of internet and the problem of utilizing of the internet of their children has becoming a problem factor for them.
Yeah. As a personal, I'm interested to use this product. That's why I'm looking for further information about the.
Well, I'm going to tell Ardi right here now. Make sure that he gets one put in his home this week.
Yes.
Very good. Yes, Mr. Harry. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And we would like to
in return to get your review.
Yes.
Like it or not, we want straight talk and we want the right information to us, because for us to improve, make a better product and evolve in Indonesia, this is very important.
Okay. Thank you.
Fair enough?
Thank you, Pak Hari.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, we would like to close our webinar today. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and especially Hasan and Ola, for sharing about the internet control and security with us. Once again, if you are interested in understanding about any of our products, we will be sending thank you email with a form where you can share with us if you are interested in any of the products. And you can also visit our website, prasetia.co.id, to see more about these products, and also to Audra.io. And see you next time, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.